Have you ever had trouble staying consistent amongst change? I wanted to take a second today to record this video because I've been moving so much change in my life. There's a lot of change with my work, moving so much change after I lived somewhere for 4+ years. And I'm still recording a video. And throughout my life, I think I've made a lot of excuses of not doing things. And I've committed to making a new video every week for 50 weeks. This will be week 48. And I'm doing it. And it's been difficult to set the room up. I'm in a brand new place, the camera, the lights. It's hilarious, like the amount of effort. This has been 3 hours of work to get this ready. And honestly, I'm a little proud of myself today. I have, usually go really into stuff about it's really heavy. And, last week's video didn't get that many views. But I got the nicest comments I've ever gotten. Someone was quoting it sent me some messages with some quotes. So the person that did that, thank you so much. And I got a message on Facebook Messenger from someone that said, thank you so much for what you're doing. It's really helpful. Somebody else has messaged me about the logo that I put up last week, and they made some suggestions on it that could help me. And I just feel so lucky. And it's been really hard, like the move has been a lot of change, and acknowledging like everything that's like, there doesn't have to be like major traumas. They can be like little tiny micro traumas. And sometimes that's too, like so much. So when the prana's high, no big deal. Like a couple weeks ago, I took the greatest meditation class of my life and I was flying high. I knew I was going to have a drop off, and I did. And usually with me, my stuff's always around cash and money and dough. And I've never reached the levels of that. I'd like to personally, but I know I will. But I still am here recording a video today, and it will go out Wednesday, and that will be 48 in 48 weeks. And then in 2, I'll be 50 in 50 weeks, which is so exciting. And I'm being consistent amongst change, not I'm making excuses. And I've had a lot of things go well for me. My work supporting me, my girlfriend supporting me, so many people support me. The equipment I use, there's just so many things are being supportive, and I want to acknowledge that. And also that it was a little tough. I also kind of don't want to be all Pollyanna. And I just wanted to take today just to record this video, just to kind of be a little proud of myself that I'm actually doing it. I took the time, I made sure I'm recording today. And for the takeaway for someone listening is, I want you to see, like, where are you being consistent amongst change? Because everything's always changing, always. This is the root of Vedic knowledge. This is the root of everything's changing, and we get attached. We don't like it, myself included. Please don't think that it's ever me. Like, no, I'm just, I would love to say I've checked that box, but no. So the change and the change and the change and the change. And where are we consistent? Like, celebrate that, because that book that I reference often, 4,000 Weeks, it's like you can only do so many things well. And we want to be, an elite marathoner, and then we want to be a perfect cook, and then a perfect partner, and we want to have the perfect bank account, and we want to be super fit, and we want to be, all of these things, an author, and whatever, I don't know what else, a motocross racer, I don't know, so many things. Can only really do a few things well. And I've committed to learn how to do this, to learn how to make videos that will help people. And it also helps me, but like help people know what I've learned. And that if we take responsibility, when we take responsibility of our thoughts, feelings, speech, and actions, and we become open to something greater than ourselves, our life can change extraordinarily. And for myself, it's been amazing. And I had a situation with my partner, with my girlfriend, where in all my past relationships, I would have just lost my mind, just because I was unable to deal with the change, and my energy was low. And I was able to see it, and I'm like, oh, in the past I would have done this, but now I'm doing this. And that's a huge win. And then on the weekend, so much entitlement I've had in my life. I've been like born on third base, almost at home plate. And I was like, oh, there was this thing. And I was like, in the past, I would have just taken something just because I could. And this time I looked, and I'm like, I don't want to take those things. I don't need it. And why would I take it? And I want to acknowledge that. It's kind of cool. And where are you having wins that you're not acknowledging? Little ones, micro ones, because the micro turn into the macro. From the gratitude calendar that we read, I have every day, every avalanche begins with the movement of a single snowflake. And my hope is to move a snowflake. Thomas Fry. F-R-E-Y, not F-R-Y. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to move a snowflake. Of course, I have objectives. I want this to do well. I checked my subscribers. I checked video count, of course. And I want to get business for my coaching with my men's coaching business and all this. And it's coming. It's not going at the pace I want, but what do I know? That's why being responsible for my thoughts, feelings, speech, and actions, but also being open to be guided. Maybe it's not the right time. I know I'm going to help people. I am helping people. I had such an amazing experience with one of my good buddies on Sunday. We just really went in and talked about stuff and talked about addiction and talked about being open and talked about being where we're stuck. And it was just beautiful. And I'm great at that. And it's amazing. But if I never started a couple of years ago, I wouldn't keep learning. And do I have tons to learn? Sure. Are these videos the best? No, but at least I'm putting them out there, and that's exciting. And so for you, I want to say, where can you celebrate where you're being consistent amongst change? And the kindness piece, I always want to come back to that. My life's been a micro traumas, tiny little ones the last few weeks because of the move, and oh my God, and it's change, Like my buddy, I told him all this stuff, and my good buddy was like, it's change. It's change. That's all it is. It's change. On a bigger level than I'm used to. And then I was driving around a place in Halifax the other day, and I saw this person, and they just looked defeated. They were broken down, making a left-hand turn. Their passenger side window was taped on, and they were in the front seat. They didn't have their four-ways on. I think the whole electrical system of their car just broke. They just were sitting there with their shoulders slumped. And I was like, that's why I do my best to be kind at all times. That's why I do my best to take care of my energy, my prana, so that I can show up with people and 99 times out of 100 try to uplift the situation. And if not, I go try to fix my energy, fix my prana, so I can see and be kind to people, because that person must have been having the worst day. They're friggin', what is it? The passenger mirror is already taped on. That sucks. And then your car just completely breaks down. You can't do anything. Can't even put your four-ways on. I'm like, imagine if the next person that person sees is mean to them or unkind, and versus someone that's just being kind. Wouldn't that make such a difference? So thought a lot about that, and I just thought it would be nice to mention that in this week's video. Amongst the change and amongst the consistency piece, maybe consistency and kindness. Always start with yourself, and then kind of branch out if you can. And you can literally change someone's day. My stepmom's good friend's an incredible teacher. He wins awards and writes books, and he's so incredibly gifted. And he helped this one student who was having suicidal ideations. And I was like, what was the nicest, what was the best thing that I can learn from what I did for you, and taking it forward? And she just said, oh, you held the door open for me one day and smiled at me. He's like, what? After everything, the extra help and all of the things I ever did for you, that was it? That's what helped me? She's like, I thought the world was a horrible place. And then that day I knew it wasn't, because you held the door open and smiled for me. And I've told that story before, and I'll tell it 1,000 times again, because those are the little things, those micros. It's just these little micro things, these small little things. And that's why this dinner I have every month with these guys is so incredible, because we have these conversations, and these two of them are professors, and they really stress about these micro sessions with their students. Just maybe you can't have a Sabbath, a full day off. You can have a micro Sabbath. You can have these tiny things. You put these little things, and they can be the consistencies. And there's going to always be change. Always going to be change. What can you install in your life that are become anchors, like me making these videos? I'm so excited. I'm so proud of myself this week for doing this. And it was a bit of a challenge, but here we are, and pretty exciting. So always thanks everyone for doing this. I get so excited doing this. I really feel like it's what I'm supposed to be doing with my life, is sharing this and then teaching people how to breathe and meditate. And I'm really lucky. I'm gonna release some long form interviews that I did recently. That's really exciting. And I just want to thank everyone for all the support, for all those people that send me these beautiful messages on Messenger and in the comments. It's really nice. And I just really want to ask you, like, where can you be open to be guided? And then where can you take responsibility for your thoughts, feelings, speech, and actions? That's really what I'd like everyone to take away from this, and be kind. And what's your path to that kindness? Yeah, so I'll link to the next video that you can watch is about just keep going when things are tough, and find your way, find your path, what is going to make you strong and the best. And I hope the background's not too busy. I want to play with it. I might shoot some results in the new place we're in. Check out that video, keep going, celebrate where you're being consistent, really celebrate that. We're only here for around 4,000 weeks. So celebrate where you're being consistent amongst the change. Be kind. Just think about that lady in the car broken down with that taped up mirror, and just maybe you could be the one that keeps her that spark of humanity. Wouldn't that be amazing? So thanks everyone. Leave comments. Let me know. It's really so amazing to be able to do this. I feel so blessed. And check out that video. Keep going and have an incredible day. Be nice and kind to yourself. And if you can, be nice and kind to someone else. All right. Have a great one. Bye-bye.